Paul, after all, began his preaching in the synagogue in each place. He got an enthusiastic hearing, often from the Gentile God-fearers, the hangers-on around the edge. But the message about a crucified Messiah was too scandalous, too blasphemous for most Jews. So the synagogue leadership, faced with these questions, would try to disown this strange hybrid new grouping, not least those Jews who, despite the scandal, had been convinced that Jesus really was Israel's Messiah and had joined in with the new movement. But the leaders would do their best to discredit Paul, to portray him as a crazy maverick with a weird idea. I don't think the civic officials would be that impressed. They might suggest darkly that the synagogue leaders had better sort it all out. Otherwise, their own privileged exemption might be called into question. After all, if anyone and everyone could just stand up and announce, oh, by the way, I'm a Jew, what was to stop the system descending into chaos? Good fences make good neighbors. Clear ethnic boundaries mean we all know where we are. Paul's crazy multi-ethnic church was indeed a novelty, a new creation, and a very disturbing one. So the synagogue leaders would be thinking, we need to get those strange Gentile Jesus followers into line with synagogue discipline, at least outwardly, so we'll be able to get the pagan officials off our backs. So the synagogue leaders would put pressure on Jewish Jesus followers to persuade their strange new Gentile friends to adopt just enough Jewish custom to look good, to make a good showing in the flesh before anyone who might be interested. The men would have to get circumcised. And the Jewish community could thereby demonstrate to anyone who was interested that this new group, though unexpected, was, so to speak, kosher. That's what the agitators, the troublers, as Paul calls them, will have been saying. Now, that solution might have looked attractive from one point of view, but it generated real anger. The social and civic pressure could easily turn violent, as social pressures can still do even in our enlightened times. The instructions in Galatians 5 and 6 are not generalized ethics. They focus quite sharply on factional and social squabbling and quarreling and even violence, and people trying to play one-up games against each other. Paul speaks about biting and devouring each other. But notice what sense this all makes of his charge in chapter 6, that those who want you to be circumcised are not in fact interested in proper law-keeping, either for themselves or for you. They just want to make a good showing in the flesh in order to avoid persecution. It all fits.